Tell you what, after the day I've had, I needed something that counts as comfort viewing. And this did the trick. Wolfwalkers, which I have seen before, I've even talked about before, but I didn't do a full review on. I did mention this in my Best of 2020 video. I think I'll put a link up there if I remember. But I didn't do a proper review of it at the time. And I was commissioned to do precisely that. Talk about it properly. Well, as properly as the rambly nonsense that I do on this particular channel ends up coming out. But in any case, Wolfwalkers is from Cartoon Saloon, who did Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea. So I already like this stuff. I love Secret of Kells, and Song of the Sea was very good as well. I don't know if I like this or Secret of Kells more. It's a tough call, but this is really good. So first of all, Cartoon Saloon, it's gorgeous. Like, if you know their work, you already knew it was going to be absolutely stunning. I love the way that they do this very stylized and at times very simple visual style, but that simplicity allows them to have incredibly smooth movement for the characters because they're not especially overly complicated from a visual standpoint. And plus, it just gives them really clear definitive traits, really clear silhouettes, really clear emotion, and the backgrounds are always stunning. It's so damn pretty. And like, here's the funny thing. That never really does much more than, oh, well, it looks good for me in live action, but man, when animation's real pretty, oh, that does something else to me. So that's the first thing going on here. And so you have a story set in the 1600s, I believe, and it is set in Ireland, but focuses on an Englishman and his daughter. So that there's the hunter, and then there is his daughter, Robin. The hunter is voiced by Sean Bean, who I think is the only voice I recognized from this. But he is there to help clear the wolves out of the local forest so it can be chopped down and turned into farmland. Well, the wolves are a bit tricky to catch, and Robin very much wants to help, and like, she's used to being able to hunt with her father, but he's not letting her do that. Not now. He's sending her off to the scullery, you know, he never uses these words, but go do women's work. And I think I want to mention this right now. On a second viewing, I have a lot more appreciation for the father as a character. Not that I thought he was a bad character before, but I got what was going on with him a lot better on the second go, which is that at a passing glance, you could buy that he's just kind of the overly stern father, you know, you're supposed to be a girl, this is what you're supposed to do, just do as you're told. Because those are kind of the words coming out of his mouth, but if you pay attention to the performance and the facial expressions on him, you realize he doesn't honestly want to be sending her off this way. But the thing is, he's afraid, not of the wolves, but of their living situation. They're under the directive of the Lord Protector, who I don't think is ever identified as Oliver Cromwell, but that's the mold we're dealing with for this guy. And the father very much knows, like, I need you to do what you're supposed to do because it's much safer for you. Because right now, not doing as you're told is getting people in a lot of trouble, and they are paying for that, and I don't want that for you. And I got that a lot clearer this time. I think I got hints of it last time, but it came across much more strongly in a second viewing. So it made me appreciate that character, honestly, a heck of a lot more than I did previously. But ultimately, this is much more about the relationship between Robin and the Wolfwalker girl, Maeve. And I probably didn't quite get that pronunciation right, but they are great. They are absolutely fantastic. The bond between these two young girls is really wonderful. It's well played. You really get do get a proper sense of, for lack of a better way to put it, feralness out of Maeve, because she really does have that ferocity in her that, you know, part of it kind of comes with her youth. But part of it is also like she kind of likes being a wolf more than a person. The way the Wolfwalkers work is kind of cool in and of itself as well, because like it's kind of a werewolf thing where like you get bitten, you become one too, and you turn into a wolf, except that's not quite what happens. It has a spiritual angle to it, which is that when you go to sleep, it's like your essence becomes a wolf, and that goes off and does its own thing while your body's resting. So it's some neat little twists on these ideas to make it a little bit more mystical, a little bit more spiritual, a little bit less of a monster story, the way that you would normally think when you're dealing with people who can turn into wolves and can make other people like them by biting them. So it's a good trick to pull the monstrosity out of that concept the way that they do. And there's a lot of great tension. There's a lot of real heartfelt, emotional moments between the girls. Some of the stuff with Maeve's mother. And like I said, the father now clicks for me even better than he did before. And I was fine with the character before, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I see what's going on here. The music's great. Like there's a song called "Running with the Wolves" which gets played over a section, which like it's very on the nose, but it's the kind of on the nose that is absolutely perfect. Now I did wonder if some people put this reading on. I did notice there have been some write-ups presuming the relationship between the two young girls as being analogous to a queer relationship. I personally don't get that. I'm not going to discredit that that reading, but for me, it doesn't map on especially cleanly, given the way some aspects of this work. At least, well, let me back up. I don't think that in any way the wolf walking is metaphorical queerness. I don't think that tracks at all. However, the relationship between the two of them, you could read it that way. Honestly, for me, with how young they are, it reads just, I don't know, not that. I would probably say the same thing if it was a boy and a girl. But then again, I'm also not big on romantic relationships. But I do like strong bonds. So I can see where people would put a bit more of a queer reading onto it. A little bit like what happened with Luca, which is another film that I saw, and I get where a queer reading comes from, but I also don't feel that for myself. So a little bit of the same thing with this. It's certainly there if you want to do that reading, but it's not where my own brain went. For the most part, this is just gorgeous and sweet and has that sense of magical realism that Cartoon Saloon is really, really good at. This is still, I think, exclusive to Apple TV. I don't think it's gone anywhere else. I don't even think you can get it physically, which is really annoying. Well, maybe you can by now. I'd have to double check that. But like, this is real good. And if you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. If you haven't made use of a Apple TV free trial, hey, there's other stuff to see on there too. I hear, supposedly. I haven't watched anything else on there. But if you either have Apple TV or you ever find yourself with a free trial, like, check this out. It's gorgeous and well-paced and tense and emotional and just beautiful. This is just a beautiful movie. Have you seen Wolfwalkers? What did you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Patreon is what enabled people to commission me to review this, and you can support me not just by commissions but by any amount. But even if you don't want to do that, like, share, subscribe, links in the description for other stuff that I do. Don't worry too much about it though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break.
All right, I've got thanks to give for my Patreon supporters. Robin Moore, Zubin Lutfala, Tarak, The Thing That Goes Doink in the Anime, Oliver B., Linda Walters, Imudelki, Leotha Boyd, TT, Fernobulax the Poodle, Zach, Idolin, Tracy Scrabbit, Angry Casperl, Toku BL Huvian, Adam RDL Taylor, Shane Ross, Shayla Gourlay, and Brendan LaRose. The Rats and I thank you.